This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Hey guys, Jay here. Welcome to Models Memories Weekly, episode 222. Models Memories is a show about nothing and is filmed in front of a live studio audience. This is a show where we're talking about painting, modeling, and wargaming experiences from the week. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Jay, you put out 3 videos a week. Ow! Could I possibly have more to say? Well, I do, and here goes. This week, new Black Templars! But first, have you ever needed a place for squares? Well, today's sponsor, Squarespace, can help with that. Squarespace allows anyone to design the website of their dreams with the most powerful and easiest design tools in the industry, like Design Blueprint. Using AI technology empowers anyone to build a more personalized website tailored to their needs, crafting a bespoke digital identity. Choose from a professionally curated selection of styling options to build a unique online presence from the ground up. Squarespace makes sure it's easy to launch your website and get discovered fast with integrated optimized SEO tools so you show up more often to more people and grow the way you want. With Squarespace, it's never been easier to set up a unique online storefront. Whether your services are physical, digital, or service-based, selling your wares has never been easier. Squarespace offers unmatched ability to showcase your unique wares with images, video, reviews, and add-ons all capped off with their seamless checkout tools. Letting your customers use whatever system they prefer, whether Klarna, ACH Direct Deposit, Apple Pay, Afterpay, or ClearPay. Squarespace offers a free trial for you to dip your feet into and test the waters, and ready to dive in head first, and go to squarespace.com/EonsOfBattle or follow the link in the description to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I have been very impatiently waiting for the new Black Templar Codex for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and finally we get a peek at it. Although I'm a little slightly nervous now. At the end of the article it said, this codex and new miniature will be coming out later this year. Later this year, does that mean next week? Does that mean the week after? Does that mean a month from now? I want it in my hands. I want those 3 new detachments. I want the new mini. It's all very exciting. I wouldn't even expect necessarily to get a Black Templar Codex this edition, or just in general. Like, Black Templar are a successor, they're a successor chapter to the Imperial Fists, and usually successor chapters don't get codexes, like Crimson Fists, and what are some other famous successor chapters? The Lamenters, kind of. The Lamenters are kind of their own thing with the 21st Curse founding, and nobody knows who their parent chapter is, but it's almost certainly Blood Angels. So Black Templar, we're very special, and we get all sorts of special stuff from Games Workshop, and we get a brand spanking new miniature. Now, they showed this off in one of those sneaky little, like, peekaboo previews where they show a little bit of a model that's impossible to tell what's going on, and then it might be next week or it might be 2 years from now when you actually get to look at the thing for real. But I kind of knew it was Black Templar because the little halo of pointy things is identical to the one that's on Helbrecht's backpack, and then it is a Psyker's skull, and Psykers are the famous enemies of the Black Templar. But now we know that it is a new, what is he called? He's not the Chapter Ancient, he is the Crusade Ancient. It is a sword bro holding a banner. It's hard to get crazily excited for this because it's an ancient, but it's still a little something, and it's something specific for the Black Templars. He's a classic Crusader. He looks exactly like the regular Crusader squad boys, although I have a slight critique. He does not have a cape, and Crusaders have capes. You don't have to glue them on, but they do all come with capes. The Crusader kit, or the Sword Brethren kit for the Black Templar, is kind of the best Space Marine kit they've ever made. Like, if you're a Space Marine player and you want like a lieutenant, a captain, an ancient, a lieutenant with combi weapon, like if you want all of your different characters, just buy the Sword Brethren kit because it comes with 5 really fancy Space Marines with all kinds of weapons and capes. Like, it's just the perfect kit. It's barely even Black Templar-y if you don't glue on some of the Black Templar's bits or you swap the shoulder pads, which is very easy to do. Like, it's just a fantastic box. And this guy looks like he came straight out of that box, but no cape. I wonder if to get that giant banner on the sprue, they had to lose the cape, but I'm gonna be giving him a cape. And another reason that he really should have a cape is one of his shoulder pads is the Black Templar double shoulder pad that we see on the Marshal. And that's a really cool shoulder pad, but it's double layered for a reason. It's a standard shoulder pad, and then you have a cape, and then you pull that cape up over your shoulder, and then you put that second layer of armor on to pin the cape in place. It looks really, really cool on the Marshal. And this guy has the double shoulder, but he doesn't have a cape to go in the shoulder. And so it's slightly wrong. It's very slightly wrong, Games Workshop. They're naughty. I'm gonna have to find a cape, put it on this guy. I think I might have at least one extra box of Sword Brethren because I only have 20 in my army, and so obviously I need some more. But this guy does have a lot of really cool stuff going on. Classic power sword or power weapon, depending on, do the sword bros get power weapons or power swords? I think there's only power weapons now. He can't take a power fist, which is the only thing sad out of the Sword Brethren kit, but other than that, he can have any close combat weapon. Oh, if he could have lightning claws, I love the lightning claws. And in every Sword Brethren squad, you are allowed to take one pair of lightning claws. But what a pair it is. They can have +1 attack. And so I forget if you're getting 5 or 6 swings on your power weapons. It's really, really great. This guy would probably attach really nicely into a Sword Brethren kit or into a Sword Brethren squad. But the fact that he's an ancient makes me a little bit nervous that he's gonna be not super impressive because the Sword Brethren, or the ancient, which is the guy holding the banner for Space Marines, is kind of lackluster in general. Right now, he's 50 points because any Space Marine character starts at 50 points and goes from there. And his ability is +1 to objective control, which is it's something. It doesn't blow my hair back, but it's fine. It's the Terminator Ancient is actually much more interesting because Terminators can actually stick around on an objective, and so getting +1 control there is pretty meaningful. And the Terminator Ancient's ability is really good. If your unit is below its starting strength, you get +1 to your attacks, and if you're below half, you get +1 to your wounds as well, which is really, really good on Terminators because they're so tough and tanky that they're probably gonna spend some of the game in both of those states. Where if you put that on like a normal squad of intercessors or crusaders, a good chance of them just getting wiped. So none of those that ability isn't really helping you, but you can't attach the Terminator Ancient to a regular squad anyway. You have to go with the Classic Ancient, and the Classic Ancient has one of those abilities that is like good but never matters. His ability is, if you're on an objective, the Ancient himself gets a 4-up Feel No Pain. It's something. That's something kind of. It does something, but it doesn't do much because if the whole squad gets wiped and you're stuck on his 5 or 4-up invuln or 4-up Feel No Pain, it's not looking great. Presumably, the Crusader Ancient will have some different rules. I don't know. He's the Ancient, so like, what's a rule that would be really, really good, but not so good that it makes him better than like a captain or a lieutenant or a marshal or a castellan? Like maybe something a little apothecary-y, but then you're taking away from the apothecary. There's too many Space Marine characters. But even if he doesn't have a great rule, he'll still be a generic hero to attach a enhancement to. And there's usually some really, really good Black Templar enhancements. The Righteous Crusade enhancements. They're really, really good. They depend on which vow you take in your army, but even so, there's what's the one? Seal of Sigismund is just like +1 attack and +1 strength. It's not +1 AP. No, I know what it is. Sigismund Seal is +1 attack and 5s and 6s are critical, which is really, really good. I attach that to a regular captain, and then it basically turns into baby Helbrecht, because Helbrecht also gets successes or criticals on 5s and 6s, so you're literally turning into a baby version of Helbrecht. You get the same number of attacks with the same profile weapon, especially if you attach it to a Sword Brethren squad. So I like Righteous Crusade. It's a really, really, really good detachment, and I'm very excited to see what these 3 out of this book are gonna be. Now I'm a little disappointed that it's 3, because it's just words. They could have written as many as they wanted, but they wrote 3. Chaos gets 8, Tau get 4, and I guess Black Templars get 3. And I can't complain too hard because we could have gotten 0, which would have been fine. But since we're getting 3, I feel like they could have typed just some more detachments up and put them in the book. Why not? It's just words. It'll be really interesting to see if they can write a detachment better than Righteous Crusade. Righteous Crusade has definitely had a little bit of a fall from grace early on with Space Marines. It was by far the best Space Marine detachment because you could do some silliness because all of your vehicles came with free multi-meltas. And so you would just vehicle spam into this detachment and like auto win the game. But then they made our vehicles more expensive to take in the cost of that multi-melta. and other Space Marine things have definitely gone up in power, like Marnius Calgar and Rowboat Girly Man. And so Black Templar, we're doing fine right now. Being choppy Space Marines is a little bit tough because Space Marines are not hard to kill at all. And so even if our vow that gives us a 6-up feel no pain, it's still looking a little rough. Because we got the sustained hits 1, or we could have lethal hits, or we could have the 6-up feel no pain. Plus, I think it's objective control or battle shock 5-up, which is basically auto pass battle shock. Or you can have the one that is tailored against psychic, and it feels kind of mean to ever use that detachment because you just do it into like Thousand Suns, and then you've turned off a pretty good chunk of the Thousand Suns army, and it's the chunk that made them want to play Thousand Suns, and so you've just got the perfect way to play into it. And it feels a little mean if you do it, but maybe I will do it against Sean one of these days just to make sure that he loses. But Righteous Crusade is a really, really fun detachment. It's very flavorful, very Black Templar, and we're getting 3 more. And what is 3 more gonna look like? If this was 5-10 years ago, I would say we're gonna get a scout-focused detachment because the Black Templar are very unique in that we have neophytes instead of scouts, and we don't treat them like scouts, we treat them as full battle brothers who just die a lot more often on the battlefield than a full battle brother. But since now there's kind of just normal scouts, there's not sniper scouts and the Landspeeder Storm, or the Landspeeder Tempest? I think it was the Landspeeder Storm, was the weird stretched one with the scouts hanging out of it that I don't think anyone ever bought ever. And the Scout Bikers. Never in my life have I seen Space Marine Scout Bikers in anyone's army, on any Facebook group, on any Discord. I've never seen that unit. And now it doesn't exist anymore, but it was really funny when it did because no one ever did it. You were allowed to take a grenade launcher on your bike, which was kind of wacky, but yeah, no one ever bought it. Leave a comment if you ever bought Space Marine Scout Bikers. If I had to wish list on what these detachments are gonna be, I would love a Green Tide detachment, like just bring as many Crusaders as you possibly can, and we get like maybe buffs to our movement, and hopefully buffs, maybe not to number of attacks, but maybe like you can have lethal and sustained. I mean, there's kind of ways with Righteous Crusade to already do that, and there was the Grotsmith detachment for Black Templar, which no one liked because it wasn't as good as Righteous Crusade, but I actually kind of liked it a lot. It gave you +1 movement on all of your infantry, and which is kind of fun and fluffy and flavorful for all of your Black Templars to just be moving a little bit quicker. And I think it might have also given +1 to walkers as well. The Grotsmith detachment was pretty fun. Man, what could you do with a Black Templars themed detachment? There could be something to vehicles because Black Templar, we love all forms of combat. And so it would be fun to have one kind of built around our vehicles, maybe giving us an extra pip of strength with our multi-meltas if we're like within, because you have to be within half range to get the Melta rule. So maybe you have to be like within half of half range to get Super Melta rule. That would be kind of fun. But other than that, I don't know. The playstyle for Black Templars feels so set in stone. What could you do to really, really fundamentally change it to make it feel like different detachments? They could break the vows up and then just turn each vow into its own detachment. There's probably gonna be an anti-psyker detachment, and that nobody's gonna wanna play into psychic armies because it's just rude. Maybe a detachment that lets you bring 2 Emperor's Champions? That doesn't quite interact with the lore perfectly because there is supposed to be only 1 Emperor's Champion, but it could totally happen that there's 2 because it's just a regular battle brother who the evening before the battle got a vision of the Emperor, and then the chaplains believe him, and so they give him the black armor and the black sword, and they sent him out to go fight the biggest bads. So maybe there would be something to like you can bring 2 or 3 because he's a named character, but his name is the Emperor's Champion. He could be anybody. So maybe you could let me take 3 Emperor's Champion. And they're so good at 75 points. I have one-shotted tanks with his sword. The Emperor's Champion is so much fun. So Emperor's Champion detachment, probably a tank detachment, and then a little something else. Maybe an oops all named character detachment like Emperor's Champion, Helbrecht, and Grimaldus. As if the Black Templar characters needed to get any better, give them a detachment that makes them even better. Helbrecht might be the best, like the most punchiest damage dealingest Space Marine character in the game. And Grimaldus is also fantastic. And Emperor's Champion is super good and super cheap right now. So yeah, just give me a detachment that makes my best units even better. I mean, if Death Guard gets to be overpowered right now, why not let Black Templar be crazy overpowered for just a little bit? Nerf us into the ground right after, but just let us have that couple of weeks where we're just having lots of fun. Now, the other thing going on with this new Black Templar Codex is new cover art. And the cover art, I don't want to be too down on it. I really like the scout with the bowl cut just screaming and shooting right in the bottom of the page. That is fantastic. I absolutely love that. The guy himself, the Black Templar that is the hero of this Codex art, little lame that his sword is off the page. I feel like in terms of composition, you want all of the elements and characteristics of the character to be on the page, especially the weapon, which is bringing a lot of that intensity and action into the pose, into like the actual artwork. You want that on the page, but whatever, Games Workshop told somebody to paint something and they did. Now they're like, how do we draw this Codex box somewhere in this painting for it to look really, really good? Like, I get that was a problem, but man, this guy's got thighs. These are the biggest thighs we have ever seen on a Space Marine. Like, he is thick. Like, he's thicker than Terminators from the waist down. He is a chunky boy. His backpack seems to not exist. I think it's just perfectly hidden behind his shoulder. And this is just a funny thing about this pose, but Space Marines technically can't do this. If you look at like the kits, they never really let Space Marines raise their arms too far because it doesn't really work. Their shoulder pads are the size of their torsos, and they can only go up so high before like the shoulder pad is above their head. And their little like bicep armor is actually really, really skinny because it has to have room to flex underneath their armpit. And so for this guy, they've actually extended that out to his armpit, so there's no way he could ever put his arm down because it's just gonna run into the armor. But it's stretch and pull, it's fine. Like, if you really, really stare at Space Marines, you notice a lot of clipping in their armor design. But this cover art is fine. It is very serviceable. I like all of the accoutrement on his armor. I like that he's got like a little shawl on his head. That's kind of funny. There's not a bit like that. Like, they didn't take a Black Templar helmet from the upgrade sprue or the Crusader kit or the Cerebro kit and put it on this guy. They just kind of put a shawl on his head. I wouldn't mind that bit, actually. I would take that bit if it was available. But it's fine. It's serviceable. My perfect Codex cover art would just be the scout guy with like snot dribbling out of his nose as he's screaming and shooting his bolter. That would be very Black Templars. And it would just be very 40k. I love, like, they were supposed to be like zealous, crazy lunatics. Like, let us be that. We don't have to be cool and noble. We can be absolute, just mad Space Marines who don't follow the rules and don't get anything done and are basically like bad for the Imperium. I mean, we kill a lot. We kill a lot of things. But other than that, we're pretty directionless as a chapter. We're kind of more of a legion than a chapter. To me, the Codex cover art gets a C. It passes. It passed fine. It didn't get super high marks, but it definitely did not fail. It's fine. It'll look fine on the shelf. I'll probably actually buy this Codex. I haven't bought any other 10th edition Codexes because, let's be honest, you don't need to. But I do kind of want the Black Templar one. I'm sure there was a 9th edition Black Templar Codex, but my favorite Black Templar Codex has got to be 5th edition. It was beautiful. But you know what else is beautiful? EonsOfBattle.com. EonsOfBattle.com is the place to find our merch, like wet pallets, water slide decals, basing toppers and bits, and the EOB dice. And it is the best way to support us doing what we do with a membership. Each month, members get a credit that they can use on our new monthly terrain packs or any previous pack we have ever made. This June, we made an absolute monstrosity. What better way to show off that a battle is serious business than a god machine already dead on the ground? These shattered remains create thematic line of sight blocking and ruined terrain perfect for grimdark games. With Titanic Rigor Mortis Claw, Silent Cannon, and Lifeless Eyes, this beast won't be doing much other than looking pretty while those who are still kicking win the day. This ruined Titan fits right at home with our previous Crash Spaceship terrain. I've been waiting impatiently to find out what the dealio is with the Black Templar release in 10th edition, and now I gotta wait impatiently for when do I get to buy this Codex? Games Workshop. I get the teasing and it builds a little bit of hype and whatever, but you can sometimes just tell us. Just tell this will be available to pre-order in 3 weeks. Just let me know. Let me know so that I can just know and I don't have to worry about it. I want to play Black Templar. And I've played like 30 games of Black Templar in 10th edition, and I've won. I have actually won a couple of those too, but I'm excited to play some more. Thanks for watching.